Hey everyone, Nova Kairi here. Today we're diving in the world of Dofus to rank the best classes for a casual player, especially at the start of the server. Whether you're a solo grinder or part of a small team, this tier list will help you choose a class that can handle the challenges early game as well as tackle the end game. We'll be considering factors like damage output, survivability, ease of play. Well then, let's get started with this PVM tier list for the new servers, and starting out in the Unity game. It's now called Dofus 3. So, without further ado, let's go with Feca. S tier easily. It does a lot of good damage. It has AOE. It has pushback. It has a lot of survivability with its damage reduction buffs, and it can also put immunities depending on the situation, whether it's long range immunity or melee immunity. All in all, top class. Its damage is not the best. A lot of people say it's good. It's good enough. There are other classes that beat it in damage, but this one you're gonna have an easy time doing like grinding mobs, doing your quests, getting recruited in teams. Definitely a good class to play. Sadida, the A tier. Yeah, we're gonna put it in A tier. So it has good damage, good survivability, it has good support, it can heal your teammates, it can remove MP, and best of all, whatever it attacks, if they can get the whole map infected, they can hit the whole map, basically. So that's why it's really, really good in my opinion. You'll grind very well. You'll be able to do your quests, and it's recruited in teams. Not the most wanted because some people still think it slows down the game, but I honestly think it's not that much of a slowdown. The dolls play much faster nowadays. The trees, yeah, it populates the map with trees, but some classes can really benefit from that either way. So I think it's a strong A class. Sacrier, B. Although it's a really fun class to play, it is still suffering in the end game. Like in the beginning, you'll roll through the game. Like this is one of the easiest class to play. It has great damage, amazing survivability. Like you basically keep healing yourself to full every time you hit many mobs at a time with the, I think it's called Dissolution. Yeah, stays is the single target one. Dissolution for the chance Sacrier. It does very good damage. You'll not have a trouble leveling this. It's just only in the end game dungeons that you'll have some trouble, but you can still complete the game. It's just gonna be a bit harder, and with getting teams, not a lot of people like Sacriers for endgame because they don't want to like work around the Sacrier, because the Sacrier has to play a bit more smart because of the one-shot mechanics. But other than that, great class to play. You're gonna have a lot of fun if you play this. It's just not that great in the end game. While we're at it, let's put IOP as well there. IOP has the same thing. It just doesn't have the same survivability as Sacrier. It has great AoE damage as well. Unless it goes Chance. Chance has survivability, but it loses AoE damage. So if you want to be a bit more like protected, you can play Chance. Just most people play Air IOP in the beginning, and then they go Earth at the end. But definitely worth trying out. It's just in the end game. End game, actually, you get more invited to parties compared to a Sacrier because it has more support in terms of like there's this massacre where you can basically inflict damage on one target, and part of the damage gets inflicted in an AoE as well. So it does help the whole team do damage, and it does have some of the best damage, and I think it is the best damage dealer in the game. It's just in melee. So there's that. Panda, easy S tier. It has good damage. It's always wanted in teams because it can just carry and put mobs in the right places for the other characters to just go and nuke. Good survivability as well. I wouldn't have that much fun playing it, but those who do, those who want to be in parties with your friends, if you want to be really useful to them, definitely play Panda. You will all have a great time with this, and you'll roll through the content because it just makes everything so much easier. Yep. Now for Rogue, let's see. Rogue, we're gonna put in the C tier. Why? Because in the beginning, you're gonna have a really hard time. You're going to be playing with 1 or 2 spells until you get your full kit. Once you get your full kit, it becomes really fun to play. You'll deal a lot of damage. It goes into A tier eventually, but in the beginning, you're going to have a hard time, definitely. And in terms of team play, you want like teammates that can manipulate mobs to go into your fire lines, into your bomb lines, but beginning you're gonna have a hard time, so that's why I'm putting it in C tier, but it does get better as you level up, definitely. Now Masqueraider, also called Zobal in French, same thing, D tier. It's not a great time leveling a Masqueraider. It has good shielding capabilities, like you will survive pretty well with this, but I think other classes would give you a much better enjoyment in this game for now, until something changes with this class. Something's missing. It's just not there yet. And in terms of team play, they will take you in. You shield really well, but yeah, C tier until they rework it. Now Steamer, also putting in A tier. Whether it's better than Sadida, I'm not sure, honestly, but it does a great job in dealing a lot of damage. It has good AoE if you go fire. Otherwise you can go chance with a great range. It has good map manipulation. It has good support with heals or shields. It can also provide heals and buffs, like 2 AP buffs to your teammates, so you'll be taken in most parties. You're not a necessity, but you will be very good in teams as well as solo. You'll have a good time doing your solo quests as well, so definitely an A tier. Whether it's better than Sadi, I'm not sure. I'd say they're interchangeable in that aspect. Yeah, I'll put them in A tier. Now Elio high C for now. Eventually it goes all the way up to S tier. We'll put it in B. Because it is useful, especially when paired with an IOP. They become unbeatable together. That's the usual combo IOP Elio for endgame content, but once you have a good hang of it, it's actually S tier, I would say. But in the beginning, you're gonna have a hard time trying to set up these portals and hitting. I think in the beginning you won't even be setting that many portals. You'll just be trying to hit as much as you can in the beginning, because you don't have that much AP either, so yeah. But as you level up, it gets better and better. But we'll put it in B for now. Maybe we'll put it in high B. Then no, we'll put it here. Yeah. As for the Hupper S tier, easy. It's always wanted in a party. It's not a necessity either, but it does really well in parties. It does really well in solo content. It has so much damage. It has good support. It has everything. It does everything like a steamer, like the Foggernaut, but just slightly better. It's also slightly harder. You need to know the element combinations and all that, but otherwise it's still a better class than the Fogger, so S tier definitely. A lot of people will be playing Hopper, I think. As for the Ouginak, D tier. D tier, not a question. It's it does okay damage. You will be able to do most content with it, but there are other classes that do better than the Ouginak right now, and it kind of needs help, you know. But yeah, you wouldn't be refused in parties. None of these classes will be refused outright unless there's some elitists who. But yeah, just get a good guild, play what you want. You'll have a great time either way. But in terms of this tier list, we'll put it in C for now. Now for the Osamodas, I'll put it in B tier. The summons really make early content easy, and you can still do endgame content as well. Can be a bit slower to play just because of the summons, but quite strong. And in PvP, I think it is one of the strongest classes right now. But I'm not gonna do a PvP tier list, by the way, because I just don't know enough about PvP, so I can't make a PvP tier list for now. Maybe later on when I get more experience with PvP, I'll do one. But for now, until the beginning of Unity, Dofus 3, sorry, I'm not gonna do a PvP tier list. So in the Osa, we're gonna put it in B tier, and the reason for it is it does very well on its own. Just that in terms of party play, not a lot of people want to party with an Osa because it's just low. It makes everyone else play slower, but definitely it can still do a lot of, like, it also has a lot of damage. Definitely worth trying out. It's got a unique gameplay for sure. Yeah. Forgelance, I think it's high A. I think it's better than both of these. It does. Why? Because all of its skills are AoE. It does a lot of AoE damage. It has good shielding, so good survivability. Its spear acts like a bait for some mobs, so sometimes you can escape mobs like that. Yeah, and most team would want you because you just do so much AoE damage. It's really nice. Really nice. But it's not an S tier for sure. Because when you need to do single target, it just can't. It doesn't have single target damage. But A tier, good AoE. Good AoE, good support, good shielding. Good innate. Enu does good. It's amazing in teams. Solo, it can handle itself as well, but that's why I'm putting in A, not S. But Enu is always recruited in teams as well because it can really reduce MP a lot. It's debuffs, good damage, really. Surprisingly for this old guy, he does some good damage. Now for the Sram, we're gonna put Sram in A tier as well. It's got a huge change with its Invisi and some of its skills. But I think in PVM it works to its benefits because you can kind of get Invisi more often in fights now, because as you kill enemies you will reduce the CD on your Invisi so you can Invisi sooner again. And its stat steal skills got life steal as well, so now you're stealing stats and life stealing. So it's got good survivability, actually amazing survivability if you combine Invisi and then you're also life stealing when you need. You're kind of unkillable, and you can set up some one shots with the traps, so it's still very good. I'd say very good. But still, in terms of team play, it has some usefulness with its mist, but not a lot of people are used to playing with Srams. And then Sram is just relegated to doing direct damage unless they play around the Sram's traps. But yeah, I'll put it in A tier for now. The Xelor. So the Xelor, we're gonna put it in B tier. I think it's better than the Elio right now. I think, yeah, it's doing better than the Elio. Eventually it will go to A tier, but in the beginning it's still a little bit hard. And also I'm putting in B tier because it's hard to pick up. It's quite confusing to play, just like the Elio. But it has some new lifesteal spells now, They used to be on 4 APs, but now they're on 3 AP spells. It has good mechanics. It's just very hard to start with, like, to understand. Like, if you've played Xelor before and you know how it works, you'll definitely have a great time with it. Maybe put it A tier as well. But for the casuals who are just joining or who've never played Xelor, I'll put it in B tier. If you really want to learn it, it's worth it. It does good AoE. It has good lifesteal, but it's very confusing for me. Eka, I'm putting it here. It has good damage. If you're a gambling addict, I don't condone gambling, but it has this roulette mechanic or the tarot mechanic where some random buffs or debuffs pop off as you play it, and it can really affect the way the fight goes. But other than that, it has good damage, good survivability, a bit less AoE, so that's why I'm putting it in B tier. And not a lot of people would. No, I think they'd still like to play with an Eka, just as long as they don't really mess up the game with their tarot and roulette rolls. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty good, pretty good. Now for the Eni. Eni is B to A tier. It does well in parties. It has respectable damage, very good survivability. I'd put it in A tier. Not much to say about Eni. It's just pretty good, and always wanted in teams as well. Not a requirement though, not anymore. Now for the Cra. Cra is S tier. S tier because it does really massive AoE damage, and it's basically like an IOP but with range, and so that's why it's that terrifying. It struggles a bit in some quest fights, but other than that, it has really good damage, good AoE. You're gonna roll through the game. You'll grind and farm very well with this class, so definitely recommended. That's why it's on the S tier. Yeah, definitely. And now in terms of rankings, I think I've ranked them pretty well, even in the sub rankings. I think this time we got it in one go, so that's good. And yeah, let's go with this. And there you have it. That's our PVM tier list for the early game of Dofus. Remember though, the best class is the one that you enjoy playing the most. So no matter what this tier list tells you, if you really enjoy any of these classes that are not S tier, definitely do play it. You might have more fun with that than any other class. So experiment, try different builds, and have fun. That's the most important thing. Now, if you've liked this video, please hit the like button, subscribe for more Dofus content, and let me know your thoughts on the comments below. What's your favorite PVM class? And what do you plan to play on the start of the servers?